Hi guys, Ian here. Welcome to another video. And today I was just in my meditation time, and I don't know whether this has happened to you. You just sit there, it's active meditation, and suddenly, like, my mind just got flooded with all sorts of thoughts and concepts and ideas, and I find it really difficult to stay there because I wanted to start writing down the things that were coming to me and that I was thinking about, and I wanted to make a video, so here I am. And today I want to talk about Kabbalah, Tree of Life, and I want to relate it to humanity. Now, as you know, the Tree of Life is a symbol that can be related at many different levels, many different sort of like circumstances, applications. And if you know anything about Kabbalah, you'll know that the four worlds of Kabbalah, ranging from the highest spiritual archetypes, the world of divinity from Atziluth, down to the world of physical manifestation in Asiya. Anyway, today I wanted to kind of map the Tree of Life to the human being and to myself. And in my meditation I was thinking about, well, how do I map against the Tree of Life? And what does it mean to me? Now, my meditation was about the nature of love, and all of this flowed out from that, from the fact that I was dwelling on the concept that love isn't a feeling, which it isn't, is it really? The feelings that we get when we think of loving someone or something are as a consequence of the love that exists. So love isn't the feeling. The feeling is there because love exists. And sometimes, if we're honest, what we call love isn't really love at all, is it? It's what exists within us when a need that we have is met by a person or a thing. And so sometimes we use the words love to mean anything from vaguely liking something to being willing to die for a thing or a person. Such is the strength of the real love that we experience for them. So it was from love that all this flowed out. When I realized that, if love isn't a feeling, what is it? And where does it sit? Where does love sit within the human being? Where does love sit within me? Is it in my thoughts? Is it in my knowledge? No, it's not, is it? Because if anyone knows what it is to be heartbroken and to know real grief, you know, you feel it there. You feel it right in the heart of you. Now, I'm not saying that love sits in the physical heart, but what I'm saying is love is not a mental thing, not only a mental thing. It exists in the core of the beings that we are. Now, on the Tree of Life, the center of the Tree of Life, the Sephira, is Tiferet, beauty. Now, right, okay, so I'm going to go. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go up a bit. Let's start at the top and work down. What is the highest aspect of a human being? Now, it's not our body, is it? It's not our thoughts. It's not our knowledge. Is it our love? No, because love is a product of the being that exists. No being, no love. So love can't be the highest aspect of us either. What is it? Now, if you look at the Tree of Life, the first manifestation of the Ein Sof is Keta. Now, if we apply the diagram of the tree of life to ourselves, because as above, so below, we in the microcosm are a reflection of the macrocosm. So the structure of all of creation is mirrored in the structure of the human. Physical, psychological, spiritual. So if the highest Sephira on the tree of life is Keta, what is Keta to the human being? Now its name is crown, and as we know, crown is a sign of kingship or queenship, of supreme authority, of power. The crown is not part of the king or the queen. It sits on their head. It is theirs, but it is separate from them. And so it is with us. The authority and the power of the being that we are, if we term it as will, the divine spark, the eternal, immortal part of us that continues, that is will, that is Keta in us. And it's very difficult to say much more about that, because Keta isn't on the tree of life, it's above the abyss, it's amongst the supernals. We can only know it by analogy. And similarly, we can only know, at the moment, Keta in us by analogy. What we can say of it is divine. It is the divine spark in us. It is the power and authority in us, from which everything else that we are flows. Okay, so what's the next thing? Next Sephira on the tree of life, Chokmah. Its name is wisdom. Now, wisdom, if we relate it to a kind of a human structure, is undifferentiated mind. In terms of divinity, it is described as consciousness before any refinement is made to it. So wisdom is it's not the knowledge of all things, because knowledge hasn't yet happened, but it is omniscience. It is the awareness of all things. It's like a great sea of consciousness. Unbounded potential. So in terms of the human, we have will, we have consciousness, the beginnings of the soul, which at this point has no limitations on it, because it has not taken any shape yet. Then we have Binah. Now Binah, understanding, this is where we start in humanity to begin. Anytime that we think thoughts, or we speak words, or we draw, or we conceive symbols, that is not Chokmah consciousness, that's Binah consciousness, because consciousness is now taking form. It is beginning to differentiate itself. So Binah in us is differentiated consciousness. What differentiates? What is it that can cause our consciousness vast, like a mill pond, still, all potential, no activity, to become differentiated? What is it that causes us to be able to coalesce consciousness into understanding. We need to flow down a bit for that to da'at, knowledge. And so each time we're dropping down a sephira, you can see there's it's like a crystallizing, a taking shape, a taking form. So at da'at we have the ability to specify, to isolate, to manipulate. It clothes understanding in form. The concept forms of Binah become knowable. And I'm finding I'm struggling for words and concepts here, because this is my own understanding, and it's, in a way, it's mirroring the process of what I'm talking about, because my consciousness has the capacity to grasp the supernals of the tree of life relating to myself. Binah consciousness is allowing me to try and put that understanding in form, and Da'at is giving me the tools with which to do it. The words of my language, the images of my logical mind. So I hope this is making some sort of sense. Okay, so we've got the beginnings now of personhood, haven't we? We've got will, divine spark, we've got consciousness, vast and boundless. We've got understanding in Binah, the capacity to focus consciousness into thought forms and concepts. We've got Da'at, knowledge, which allows us to manipulate our consciousness. Okay, the basis, the foundations of personhood. Well, what's next? The next one then on the tree of life is Gevura, severity, and its opposite partner, Hesed, which is mercy. Now, these are actually I got the order wrong there, because Hesed comes first and then the lightning flash sort of, yes, so Hesed comes next and then Gevura. So Hesed then, which is mercy, is seen as the upbuilding sephira in creation and in existence, that which brings forth and brings forward, that which creates in us. So in the personality, what is the creative? To me, it is the learning and growing and experiencing and becoming more than we were previously, the drawing into ourselves, the building of our personhood, and balanced by its opposite, Gevura, which is severity, destruction. Gevura burns away that which no longer serves, and we absolutely need that, because in terms of our personality and of our growth as individuals, we constantly have to learn and revise. We have to greet things and assimilate them with Hesed, and we have to burn them up, destroy them and lose them as we grow. In fact, Dion Fortune likens Hesed and Gevura to the anabolic and catabolic states in physiology. The upbuilding of the body through cell production and cell multiplication, and the destruction and the elimination of waste through the catabolic process. So if you think of this psychologically, this is what's happening through Hesed and Gevura in us, in our personality and in our personhood. Then we come to Tiferet, and Tiferet is beauty. Now, it's interesting to me that all of the Sephirah that have to come before Tiferet can appear. And Tiferet is also known as the heart center or the Christ center. And I think of it as not conscience exactly, but that part of us which it's the part that can sacrifice. It's the part that brings forth all the good things in humanity. You know, the bravery, the self-sacrifice, the love, everything beautiful in humanity, for me, sits in our Tiferet consciousness. But in order for that to happen, we have to have all the rest. We have to have consciousness, which can be defined in Binah, which can be clothed in form in Da'at. We have to have the ability to grow and become and bring forth in Hesed. We have to have the ability to get rid of that which no longer serves, and to be destroyers of ourselves in some ways. All of that has to be there for us to be able to operate and to build that Tiferet consciousness within us. Yeah. Beauty. And also you'll notice that Tiferet sits right in the middle of the tree of life. Everything else connects to it. It's like the regulator. It's like the sun, the great sun that shines, illuminating and warming and life-giving within the human being. Okay, so then after Hesed, we have Netzer, which is the instinct, the emotional drives. And to go back to where we started when we talked about love, and especially passionate love, that's where it sits in Netzer. It doesn't sit in Tiferet, where the agape love sits, the pure, highest, self-sacrificial, beautiful love sits. The passion and the animal urge, and that's not to say that it's wrong or less, but the physical driving passion sits in Netzer, and along with the instinctive kind of nebulous feeling aspect of our humanity. Then we go to Hod, which is the logical, more scientific, more clinical, more intellectual aspects of ourselves. You know, where we say, well, you know, the head should rule the heart sometimes. Well, that's Hod ruling Netzer. And if our heart always rules our head instead of our head sometimes ruling our heart, then it's all Netzer and very little Hod. Yes, so we're now getting to the more recognizable, I suppose, aspects of personhood, because we see Netzer and Hod operating in people all the time. You know, the rage, the I don't know, sometimes the unreasonableness, or the you know, the joker, the all of the characteristics of personality that are very visible in day-to-day life. Usually Netzer and Hod kind of interacting. Then we come down to Yesod, which is subconscious, which is the part of us which is not visible, which directs our living, but we don't necessarily know it or see it. And often others see Yesod in us much more easily than we see it ourselves. They see the patterns which we follow, which we sometimes not even aware of. It's Yesod in us that, gives us our dreams and our, I don't know, that of us which we know that we haven't learnt, that we have brought forward from another place, another time. Yesod is the part of the iceberg that's below the water, whereas Netzer and Hod tend to be the bit that stick above the water. And then we find ourselves in Malkut, don't we? Physical world of physical manifestation, the body. That of us which is in matter. And what I took from all this, as it was sort of like playing out in my mind, was why the Sephira occur in the order that they do. Because I would have thought at one time that Tiferet, the heart centre, the Christ centre in us, would have been really high up to the top. But no, it can't be, can it? Because you have to have consciousness. You have to have structured consciousness. You have to have the ability to conceive ideas and thoughts, make judgments. You have to have the idea to grow, to become all that sits then in Tiferet in us. Because Tiferet, if it is conscious, if it is the equivalent of conscience, then it grows and forms, doesn't it? And from its experiences, we are what we are as a result of our experiences. Tiferet in us does not just happen. And then below conscience, come our emotions and our thoughts. And then below those, our subconscious minds and functioning, and then our physical bodies. Well, astral body, etheric double, physical body, before someone picks me up on that. So again, yes, that's my thoughts for today. So hope you find something of use there, and feel free to comment if you agree or disagree, or if you have your own thoughts. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because I need a cup of tea, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.